Good morning, peeps. I thought today I'd introduce you to another member of the Daimler XJ collection, Series 4 in my book, which would be an XJ40 probably in everybody else's book. But this is where I live, in the garage that she's kept in. I'll just show you what she's now. There she is. It's this big monstrosity. Tucked away nicely. Not been out for a few weeks, so I'm going to get her uncovered and I'll come back to her. Right, this was the car that was featured in the August edition, I think it was, of Jaguar World. They took a few photos of it around Jib. I'm going to take it to where they took the photos and we'll have a closer look around it. So I'll see you in a little while. This is a place where a lot of the magic happens. This is where we've done a lot of the work on the cars over the last few years. This is where I keep the other Daimler 3513 Series 3 Daimler XJ6. We'll save that one for another day. Okay, I'm going to take you on a little tour of the upper rock of Gibraltar on our way to the place where the photographs were taken for the magazine. Just give you a little bit of a background on the car. It's a 1990 4-litre Daimler XJ40 or Series 4, as I said earlier. She spent most of her life in a garage in an estate in Marbella. It was originally purchased by a very wealthy family. It was bought originally in Paris, the Jaguar showroom in Paris, and then driven to Switzerland for a short while, and then ended up coming down to Gibraltar, got registered here in Gibraltar in 1994, I think. And like I say, ended up spending a lot of the time in a garage because the villa in Marbella wasn't used very much. The car just ended up sitting there. Consequently, when I bought it, she had 38,000 miles on the clock. 4 years ago now, I think. It's now got 46,000 kilometres, sorry, not miles, kilometres on the clock. So still not high mileage at all. I bought her in A1 condition, really. The only things that I've done to her really, well, basically stripped it down to as much as possible, cleaned every individual component, took off all the old wax, replaced anything that needed replacing, some mechanical bits and pieces which I'll tell you about in a little while. And she's been with us ever since. Just got some tourists in the way here. Let's make our way past. A lot of the reasons why she stayed in such good condition were because of the ambient temperature here, and obviously the fact that it wasn't used very much. We'll go this way. We're getting a bit high up now, as you can see. Bay of Gibraltar. Every time I get in this car and drive it, it's a treat. It really is. It's a level of quality that you don't find very often, even in modern cars. But back in 1990, I imagine this car would have been very, very special indeed. She's now 27 years old. Well, you wouldn't think so. Coming down the other side now. That's Spain over there, you can see in the distance. Catch a glimpse of the runway in a while. These roads are a little bit narrow, but fortunately it's all one way, so you won't catch anything coming the other way. Just have to watch out for the odd tourist here and there. Be interesting to find out who the family were, whether there's any remaining family. The original owner died sometime before I bought it, and his wife downsized their estates throughout the world, and the one in on Marbella was one of the ones that went, including everything that was in it, which included this car. For some reason, I'm not quite sure why, but the dealer, the car dealer, is actually a Nissan dealer, but he's a collector of special cars and stuff. We got approached to see if he was interested in buying it at the time, and he went down to have a look at it, and it was in situ in the garage, and apparently he said when the garage door went up, he instantly knew that he was going to have the car due to its condition. It was serviced up till that point at the Jaguar dealers, Salamancas in Marbella, who did a pretty comprehensive service on it whenever it needed. The biggest item that it ever had was the headlining was renewed at a cost of €2,200 at the time, which was nice. There wasn't really any signs of any major warranty claims or anything substantial that was ever replaced. So it's had an easy life. Let's say that much. There's got a bit of a tight corner to negotiate here. A bit of a cannon there. Bay of Gibraltar again. Now this could be a problem, because this was the point where we took the photos for the photo shoot for the Jaguar World magazine. Looks like they're doing a little bit of restoration work here, so it might not be possible. I'll get back to you in a minute with a revised plan. Okay, I've managed to find a spot. There's a bit of work going on, but there's still enough room to show you around. Okay, here she is. As I said to you before, there was very little work needed to be done to her. Everything that needed to be taken off and cleaned was, including the bumpers, which were quite dirty underneath and bits and pieces. Got my Gibraltar Classic Car Association badge there stuck on the back. Everything else is pretty standard, original. little bits and pieces that needed to be changed, like the surrounds around the aerial. I took all the chrome trims and stuff out the rubbers, and I peeled the rubbers back a little bit to see if there was any corrosion or anything that needed sorting out in there. There wasn't. You can see from the wheel arches and everything, there really is very little wrong with a toggle. Tiny few little dinks here and there, one or two. Other than that, it's all pretty good. All underneath has been cleaned, etc, etc. Say bumpers off, grills out, headlights out, stuff like that. This was a while ago now, so we get an accumulation of dust over the years. I suppose it'll need doing again soon, well, at some point or another. I'll just give you a little look inside. Dashboard, open the bonnet, give you a little look under there too. Front seats. Back seats. Just a little sitting here. Oh, it's lovely. There's still quite a nice smell of new leather in here, which is nice. There's this headliner I was talking to you about. It's all been replaced at some point. All good. Under here is pretty special too. So I've been sort of finished, I think we call it nowadays. Made everything look a bit sparkly. Cleaned it all up. A bit of dust, nothing major to talk of. All the fluids were changed, obviously, including differential, oils, main oil, gearbox oil, brake fluid was all changed. New plugs, cleaned up the distributor cap, plug leads, etc, etc. The rear suspension's been a bit of an issue, as anybody with anything to do with these cars will know about. The self-leveling system itself was working, but I think the shocks themselves were gone, and I've been unable to find any more. I've searched the whole world for them, and there's obviously, well, there's none I can find anywhere, so I ended up putting the conversion kit on, which, to be honest, considering the amount of use it gets, and I think I'm going to be having lots of people chauffeured around in it, so the rear shocks and springs were changed. While I was at it, I changed the front shocks. Not that there's anything wrong with them, it's just that they do recommend that you change them every now and again anyway. So the original Bose shocks went on. The Bose kit was the back ones as well, so they're good quality, decent quality stuff. The eagle-eyed amongst you might notice that the wheels are, well, non-standard for UK specification cars, but I do have the original wheels, which are all in superb condition with the original Dunlop SP tyres on too, with lots of tread on, but they're quite old, so I didn't want to run around in the car with the old tyres on, because the last thing in the world you want to blow out or anything like that. So, like I say, I kept them, and they're there for shows if necessary. But with regards to what to replace them with, I did a bit of searching around, and I found out that in America, where the Daimler wasn't used, the name Daimler, because of some sort of licensing. There was another company or something called Daimler, so they called it the Majestic. And in a certain year, they produced a version called the Majestic, and in it they used the cross-spoke alloy wheels, the Jaguar cross-spoke alloy wheels, but they did them in this style where they polished up the outer rims, the central hub bit, and painted the the inside of the wheels, spokes and the central bit the same colour as the car, and then lacquered them up so that I reproduced this effect because I quite liked it. It was a viable option and it keeps the car looking pretty original. If Jaguar did it, it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. And the end result came out really quite well. Cost a lot of money, but hey ho, there you go. So there you go. I don't think there's much else to show you. The boot was in particularly good condition. Honestly, I don't think it had ever been used for anything substantial. The original wheel and tyre was in situ, so it hadn't even been off. I don't carry it now as a spare. I carry one of the other ones that were on the car because I didn't want to use the tyre because it was brand new. But that's one of the original wheels that came off it. So all nice in there. Everything's all hunky dory. Toolkit's all in place, etc., etc. And so there you go. And there you have it. G3514 Series 4 in the Daimler XJ collection. If you want a full breakdown and rundown of everything that was done to it, just go and have a look on the website www.thedaimlerxjcollection.com.